Hi everyone, Ivy Marie Lim, Peak Performance and Relationship Coach, and in today's video I am a little bit inspired and inclined to talk about the yin and yang. So yin and yang appears to be something like out of traditional Chinese medicine. The concept of yin and yang is a concept that is a foundational principle in Taoism, and that's a whole another realm that I'm not exactly an expert on, but I have studied quite a bit on it. However, yin and yang is also prevalent in relationships and in life in general. It is about polarities. It is about dualism, but actually non-dualism. It's about having two opposites and two polarities, two different aspects of life and energy, but at the same time it's not necessarily opposing. They actually don't work against each other. They work together as part of the greater whole, as part of the cycle and flow of life, and that is non-dualism, and that is the underlying principle and foundation of yin and yang. So this year has been an abundance of polarities, from political views to philosophies, to this overwhelming theme of death and mortality, and also life and surviving and thriving. And even in my own personal life, I've kind of struggled with this because I've had two dear friends of mine lose their children, and I mean, it's absolutely heartbreaking, and I almost really retreated inwards because I didn't know, or I didn't want to feel, I didn't think it was appropriate to express too much joy when people close to me are feeling so much sadness. So that's another polarity, sadness and joy, yet one cannot be without the other. My heart breaks because my heart is full, and because I have a whole heart. So that again is a polarity. And with the yin and yang, if you know the image of it, there is a darkness in the light, and there's a little bit of light in the darkness. Again, this is because they are actually always working together. So how do we do this in our life and our relationships? This society actually really puts a lot of emphasis on the masculine energy, the yang energy, and that is a very protruding, aggressive, outward, assertive energy, whereas the yin, the feminine energy, is more soft, it's inward, it's a nesting energy, and it's a grounding energy, whereas the outward is, masculine energy is very outwards. And the thing is, and this plays out in a dynamic, in a partnership, in a love partnership. As you know, I'm also a relationship coach, and I help women find, amplify, and radiate their best selves so they can find and attract the love that they want. And I do, in my modalities, teach about the balance of masculine and feminine energy, because the biggest myth when it comes to yin and yang and having these different energies is that one is right and one is wrong. And that is often very indicative of the Western world, that you're either right or you're wrong. It's a very dualistic world, not non-dualistic. It's notice how I don't say masculine versus feminine, yin versus yang, because it's not about clashing or opposing or one against the other. It's actually working together and honoring both energies and honoring where you are in the cycle of life. So sometimes, especially during a grieving process or a conflict, a time of conflict, like now, a time of polarities, like this, the past 8 months, you really want to honor where you are in that cycle. And you notice how the yin and yang is indeed a circle. There is no end and there is no beginning. It's constant movement, it's constant flow, and just honoring where you are in the cycle and allowing yourself to be where you need to be in that cycle, and to slowly but surely know and believe and understand that you will eventually move through a different cycle in life, a different cycle in your relationship, a different season of life, a different season in your emotions, depending on what's going on in your life. And the thing is with relationships, and as a woman's coach, and primarily from my own perspective and my own experience too, is that because we have attached masculine and feminine energies to gender, to male and female, it's actually a detriment to our relationships, a downfall to our relationships, and a downfall to who we are as human beings. You really need to be able to honor both sides of being a full human, or else you're just actually repressing how you really feel. And this is the downside for many people who haven't chosen to sort of self-heal, because we have been conditioned to primarily be in our masculine energy, which is the energy that this society really does acknowledge and think is the right way and the best way. And it's not necessarily true that you can lead with both energies at the most appropriate time. And this is also a big theme in peak performance. Peak performance is not just reserved for the high performance athlete or the high performance entertainer or artist. Peak performance is being able to show up in different areas in your life, different circumstances in your life, and being able to show up at your best according to what's happening in that situation, in that circumstance. So it's being able to be your optimal best no matter what the circumstances are, or what the circumstances dictate that is required from you. So that is really what true life peak performance is, and that's another thing that I coach upon as well. And to do this is just having that mindset and that understanding and that belief and that inner knowing and true authenticity and integrity of being aligned with your feelings, honoring what you're feeling on a day-to-day moment, on a week-to-week basis, on a season-to-season basis, on an event-to-event basis, and just hanging on and knowing that you will cycle through all the seasons and that none of it is right or wrong. It is not bad or good. It is just a season of life. It's the cycle of life. It is the flow of life. It's the duality and the polarity of life working together, and the full experience of being human. And I hope I got my message across. If you have any questions on this, and let me know, comment. If you want more on my insights and training, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and also check out the description for below to reach out to me for any of the tools that might be helpful to you. Okay, thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.